Hey everyone, welcome back to the SeaWatch Podcast. I am delighted today to have Ola and Kroum Batchvarov. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm not sure how much of an introduction they actually need because they both have very popular YouTube channels, and I was really delighted that they're spending some time to sit down with us and talk about what's going on in their lives and get to know them a little bit. So, Ola and Kroum, welcome.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be at your podcast, Mike.
And hello, Mike, from me.
Thank you. So, I'd love to, obviously, I think a lot of people know you guys from your YouTube videos, but I don't know a lot of people know kind of your backgrounds and how you got to where you are. So I'd love to spend some time just understanding how you guys got here. I think you probably took pretty unique and different paths. So, I mean, Ola, start with you. Do you want to tell us sort of a little bit about how you came to ship modeling in the States and your YouTube channel?
Oh, actually, this is my passion from childhood. Just when I was seeing pictures, any kind of models, even from that souvenir stores, I was just gluing to the display case and like, wow, amazing stuff. One day I want to build such a model.
And this is
But
Ukraine, yes?
and this is in Ukraine, and it was really in Ukraine it's very expensive hobby. Even if you can find kits to buy, but it is just so expensive for Ukrainians. It was like impossible, and it was the biggest fear. What if I will buy this expensive box and I can't put it together? So it was always like a red line for me, which I couldn't cross to start ship modeling. Until finally one day in 2010, I believe, the Agostini magazine appeared with parts, and I decided, wow, this is what I need. If I can't build it, I just will stop buying magazines. So I was buying magazine by magazine with parts, bits and pieces, and start building models. And from 2010 to 2020, I become master of sport of Ukraine, because in Europe it's a sport. So I'm retired sportsman now.
So it's really a sport. How do you mean? Like there's big competitions. I mean, we tried to get 100 people in Connecticut together, and that was a tough a couple weeks ago. So it's a lot more popular.
I believe 35 or 36 countries are in this international community, if I can say. It's Naviga. Maybe somebody
It's an
heard this.
organization.
It's organization. It's short name Naviga, and all European countries are members of this organization. And first of all, competitions are going inside the country. Like each region can make their own competitions. That then all entire country, like all Ukrainians, can come and compete. And then in the process of these competitions, forms a team. 10, 15 modelers with their models are going abroad, and every 2 years there is a European championship, and every 2 years a world championship.
Oh, wow.
So yeah,
And they're still doing that? That's still happening?
yeah, it's still happening, but unfortunately already without me. If I will just perfectly time my presence in Ukraine, just I have to enter at least one competition in Ukraine, so then I can get into the Ukrainian team. And then I can go in Europe whenever. I think in this year it's in Croatia or Bulgaria. No, Croatia. Don't remember. I need
And
to
we can't
check.
can the US join this or no?
No, US should be a member of this Naviga organization.
Yeah, we're gonna have to look into that. So then are you saying you didn't build your first model ship until 2010?
Yes.
Wow. I think that's probably when I started building model ships, and mine looked nothing like yours. So,
Well, it's also, I just want to explain you how I got all this experience. Just you can count my 1 year like 10, because in the moment you decided just I want to be a sportsman, so you are getting at least one coach or two trainers, and you can't enter competitions without approval from your trainer. And sometimes I remember I was regluing, reshaping, ripping something off, again gluing, until my coach will tell me like, right, now you can go to compete. So it was like it's still very similar, like it was Soviet Union time when college were literally sticking your nose into this mistake. This is wrong. You should redo it, and it's under pressure. You have to redo it, and if you want to compete, you have to finish this model on time also.
wow. And so then So you were probably modeling 8, 10 hours a day and really honing your skills during this time. And
Back then it was only on weekends because I had back then a full-time job. I'm a civil engineer. And it's also helped me a lot because I could model in something in AutoCAD and use some laser cut, like to cut bulkheads, something what you can speed up your process of building models.
wow, that's really neat. And then, so when did you move to the States?
When I married Kroum,
Uh, so when was that? Like 2019 is?
We married in 2018, but she moved to the States in 2019. We chose to do it the legal way, and the legal way takes some time.
Okay. All right. So sorry, folks, if you notice that all of a sudden they changed position, we had some technical difficulties, and so we're back. So anyway, Kroom, you're saying so you met in I think 2019, you said?
No, we met in 2017. We married in 2018, and she came to the United States in 2019 because the process of legally immigrating to the United States takes some time, of course, to pass
Gotcha.
through all the checks.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And so how did I don't want to get too personal, but were you on like exhibition or not exhibition? I'm sorry, a dig or a project over there?
We actually met in Bulgaria, where I originated. Olya was having a competition there, and I was a co-primary investigator with Professor Jonathan Adams and Bulgarian colleagues of the Black Sea Maritime Archaeological Project. So it was coincidence that we were at the same place at the same time. And I
I
decided
was
to
there because of the international competitions. It
Right.
was European Championship, I believe.
European Championship, yeah.
Yes, and I invited Kroom. Okay, if you are in Bulgaria, just come and look at my model in reality. Because before I was tormented him with questions, like how it was done. I believe it was questions about shields on the Victory, HMS Victory, and you were helping me with something like
Oh,
that.
cool.
Essentially, common friends of ours introduced us.
Gotcha.
We started talking about details on ship construction in the late 18th, beginning of the 19th century, and that's how we met.
Gotcha. Okay, great. And I'll pause there for a second because Karoom, I want to then hear kind of how your background a little bit before you guys met.
Well, I was born and raised in Bulgaria. I came to the United States legally back in 1990 as a student. Did actually all 3 degrees I have are from here, from the United States. I began engineering school in Bulgaria, but did not complete it and switched to archaeology. I'm not the only maritime archaeologist who has followed this path, I have to say. Eventually, I made my way to Texas A&M University. By then, I had the green card. I did study I arrived at Texas A&M really at a very, very good time.
Mhm.
The program, the field of maritime archaeology was already established as a serious academic research discipline. But I also caught some of the greats that subsequently moved to different places or passed away. The Professor George Bass, the founder of nautical archaeology, is no longer with us, but I was in the last 2 classes that he taught. My main professor was Kevin Chrisman, who I don't think is an exaggeration to say that he is the foremost maritime archaeologist in North America, in my humble and correct opinion.
Mhm. And he did the book on the eagle, I think, right? Or he did.
He did a number of books, but yes, he did a book on Eagle, which was his master's thesis.
Right.
Then he did an edited volume on the War of 1812 wrecks in the Great Lakes, both his and on the American and on the Canadian side. It is excellent study, this type of works, and he's currently working on a similar book on steamships, early steamboats.
And during this time when you were in school and then afterwards, like, were you modeling at this point yourself? How'd you get into modeling?
When I'm sitting next to Olya, I never model. I don't do models.
Mhm.
Otherwise, I would admit that I have done the odd partial model here and there.
Okay.
Ship modeling and nautical archaeology have a very long history together.
Yeah, and I'd
The
really like to learn a little bit more about that.
Well, this in a way started ship reconstruction as subfield of nautical archaeology. It was begun back in the 1960s at the Yasada project by Professor Frederick van Dorning, who asked George Bass to give him as a PhD topic the reconstruction of the 7th century Yasada Byzantine wreck from Yasada. And as Dr. Bass was telling the story, he died laughing at this. He said that these are fragments. This is less than 10% of the ship. By all means, do whatever you want, but in a year, when you realize that this cannot work out, come and talk to me. We'll come up with a real dissertation for you. Lo and behold, however, it did work out. Fred van Doren was able to reconstruct, but part of the process was by building a scale model, 1 to 10, of every single fragment that was found on the bottom.
Mm.
And then reassembling these fragments essentially in the way that you will assemble a 3D puzzle, except that a naughty child has lost 90% of the puzzle pieces. And for what is left, you have to come up with a representation of what originally was there. And he used the angles of the fasteners in the concretions that survived. He used their location. This is why archaeology is so important. Positioning of every find is of vital importance because it helps us interpret the site.
Mm.
And that is how it began. Generally, people know it as the field created by Dick Steffi. The late Mr. Steffi created it as an academic discipline. And he taught it for many years until he retired. Unfortunately, although I did know Mr. Steffi very well, he was already retired when I was a student. He used to hang out with us and ask and answer student questions all the time, as long as he realized that you really were interested. You were looking for answers. This was a wonderful time. Kevin Chrisman, Fred Hocker was my other favorite professor from that program. Jamal Pulak was there. And of course, as I said, George Bass. But the combination of Fred Hocker and Kevin Chrisman is something that I treasure to the present day. They're among my closest friends. We have done a number of projects together since then. But I have learned so much from these two people. I'll never be able to properly thank them for what they have given me. As knowledge, but also as attitude towards the field, as approach to maritime archaeology, and last but certainly not least, as a way of teaching and approaching and conversing with students. They were incredible.
Yeah. And I definitely want to hear about some of your field work in a moment. But Ola, going back to you, so you came to the States in 2020, and I mean that's about when you started your YouTube channel, is it? Did you do that right away, or how'd you get into that?
Actually, COVID helped a lot because I was planning that I will come here, I will get my green card, or will get all my documents, and will find a job. But COVID
You
came.
already had the green card when you came.
No, exactly the plastic one I got here. It was exactly on the February 5th on my birthday. So it was like greetings from the country, like welcome to the country. Perfect gift. And 2 weeks later, or even less than 2 weeks later, everything was shut down and COVID was just everywhere.
Yeah.
And I was thinking like, I have friends who are earning money on YouTube, on photo stocks, and I said, if people can do it, I want to try it too. But you can really earn some money if you will put yourself into it, like, you will take it like a full-time job. Then it really will work. And lucky me, because everybody's stuck at home and people were watching YouTube. Yes, so I developed very fast channel and it was growing like mushrooms after the rain. So when I realized like, wow, I like it. So that's how I started earning first $100 I earned in 6 months. And then it started just doubling every month.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
That's
but yeah,
great. Yeah.
when I got my first 100, it was 6 months, exactly 6 months.
It got me through COVID, that's for sure. I mean, when I discovered that and just started watching it, I mean, it was a nice respite because I also had another company. I'm trying to like, lead the company remote and stuff like that, and it was exhausting. So I was able to sort of watch your stuff at the end of the day, and it was just nice to chill out to good videos and good music.
And yes, because I also was sitting at home constantly, because thanks to YouTube, I found customers, new customers, and right now ship modeling became my full-time job.
Now, I want to dig in that a little bit. So the builds that you have in your videos, are they just personal projects? Are they for customers? Like, are you being contracted to build models? Talk a little bit about sort of your subjects and what you do there.
So mostly I'm getting restorations. Recently I got an order actually I have two orders already, just another model is waiting in queue to build from scratch. But when I started YouTube channel, so I had 5 models. I still have them and they are unfinished and they are sitting on the shelf, also waiting for their time. And because I got custom orders, so I can't build what I want. I'm working on what was commissioned. So I have one model from scratch, my own, and 4 from kits. And I found actually proper term here, kit bashing. We don't have anything similar how to translate this properly in Ukrainian, but this is
Yeah.
when you're taking actually kit and improving it to more historically accurate model. And this is what I'm showing in my videos mostly, that you can build more historically accurate models. Sometimes even it will look like it is from scratch if you will put more effort in it. If you will put a little more money in it also to change cheap wood with more expensive boxwood or ebony, and you can achieve quite very high result.
If you keep changing out the wood and the parts, I mean, at what point does it become an actual scratch build?
Very good point.
Actually, yes, sometimes it is more difficult to improve the kit than to build it from scratch. Easier technically, I mean.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting. And I mean, until the point I guess if there's just the bulkheads, in the kit, then maybe that's the cutoff point. But once you start building your own frames, I mean, you're a scratch builder, I think.
Yeah.
And
Also true. But if it is kit-based model, some parts which you can't make or manufacture, for example, without power tools, then you can close your eyes and take it from the kit, that cast iron, that white metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just can put that because you can't make it or manufacture it without power tools. So this
right.
is if it is kit-based model.
So you said, I don't think on the channel yet, but you said you have done fully scratch build, or?
Yes, I have one unfinished. And actually, this is the most interesting part. When I start showing this scratch build model on my channel, it was absolutely, people were losing interest and channel was losing views. And so I put it aside and started building kits, and channel actually was growing mostly on kits. So
Really?
so that's how I got another 4 of them. But when I came here, I decided that's it. I'm not building any kits anymore. I'm building only from scratch. And then with the channel, I decided like, right, and I have to build something interesting. What people were asking, like why can ship, or the most common question, when I will build a black pearl. I need to build a black pearl.
Clearly.
People just asking and waiting for it.
And Kroum, I'm sure you die a little bit inside each time you hear that, right?
Oh, yes. Mike, imagine Olya is sitting on a treasure trove of unique material that no one has modeled.
Yeah.
Starting with projects by Kevin Chrisman, who is perfectly happy to give her his personal field notes and reconstructions of models. Fred Hockers, he has done other things before Vasa. He's more than happy to share his data with him. Uluburun's Maupulak. Professor Johan Rumby from Södertörn University is discussing possibility of Olya building one of the great Swedish 16th century ships based on the wreckage of the vessel. All the great archaeologists in the world who have fantastic accumulated material are happy to give her the documentation if only she would build scratch models. But no, because of the channel, it is kit after kit after kit of varying degrees of quality. Let's be polite.
We're gonna have to do something about that. I think you do need to build a unique, maybe a separate channel, like the Scratch channel or something. It'll be a particular project.
I think one channel is enough.
2 channels, my dear.
I was gonna say, well, then on that, so then you convince Kroum to do his own channel.
Yeah, it took me a while. This is exactly this is the point. Sometimes I have this walking encyclopedia. I just can come and ask question like, could it be that on this and this type of the ship was metal nails or were it tunnels? And I can get not just answer yes or no. I can get entire lecture why it was metal, how it was put together, and how it was manufactured, and where, and how long it take to manufacture that one metal nail.
Light exaggeration, but not very much so.
Right.
It is mostly that she is asking a question of, would they have done it this way? Well,
Yes.
this usually has more than one answer because there is variation in the archaeological evidence. And that's where the lengthy 45-minute lecture comes into play.
So, Kroum, what do you want to be able to accomplish with your channel? Like, what's your hope there?
Well, first of all, as you're aware, the channel was begun really under immense pressure from Olya. I do not feel comfortable with YouTube, particularly. I have spent a lot of time in front of cameras. Especially during the Black Sea Map project, we were constantly, Professor Adams and myself, with microphones, even in certain places of the ship where we hoped to be going on our own. We still had to carry microphones. It's a 2-part documentary that is even on Amazon. But the point is, it's not the camera, it's not speaking in front of a camera that bothers me. It is that when we started the channel, I expected it to be more archaeology oriented. Archaeology, history, but in reality, it has become much more model bashing and criticizing.
It
Right.
dictates you what is necessary
And this is
to
what
do.
people like. This is what people are actually watching the most.
Coaching and
Instead of-
feedback, we can call it.
Yes, I suppose this is a more polite and tactful way of describing it. But so I suppose I have no very high goals for the channel except to continue hopefully managing to sneak some real information in between videos that are
Yeah.
more often
We did a
seen.
4-part thing on the War of Tobago, right, recently, which I
Yes.
thought was really interesting. So I kind of the history nerd in me likes that stuff. So I'll certainly watch if nobody else does.
Thank you. Then we'll make some more for you special.
And
Excellent.
actually, in this case, the fourth part, it was exactly archaeology, and this is the most popular and most watchable video in this series.
Oh, interesting. Well, good.
Yeah.
No,
So archaeology is also interesting, you see.
I suspect that this is due to Mr. Kevin Kenny, a gentleman from Trinidad and Tobago who also runs his own channel on
Yep.
YouTube, Ship Modeler, actually, whom I had the privilege of meeting when we were working in Tobago. And,
Oh, did you? Okay.
He and friends of his, German filming crew, produced a film on the
Yep.
battle, Tobago 1677 is the title of that film. And I think that's how we met at the time. And I strongly suspect that it is he who promoted and shared the video somewhere.
Gotcha.
Well, be interested in this.
Well, we're gonna have Kevin on the show too, so I spoke with him about that, so that'll be good.
He's a very nice man. I like him.
So, I guess talk to me, like what was your favorite dig or project? Do you call them a dig? Is that the proper term?
Yes, but this is the way you call them when you're just shooting air back and forth. Officially, of course, it is an excavation.
Excavation. Thank you. That's the word.
Yes.
So what's been your favorite one that you've worked on over the years?
Oh, heavens. You know, the truth of the matter is that I like every single one I have worked on. This is not an exaggeration. It is not a politically correct nonsense. It actually is. Whenever you're working on something, this is the most exciting thing in the world for you at the moment. If job for job, significance for significance, probably Vasa.
Okay.
I liked it as a job. Well, Fred Hocker arranged for me to be hired. He believed that I can record the framing of the ship, despite the fact that other attempts before that had not succeeded quite. But for 2 years almost, I was living in the 17th century. I was hiding inside the ship pretty much the entire day. I might crawl out for lunch, but I might not. And I mean, how many people can claim that their job is to live inside a 17th century warship?
Yep.
So absolutely, I loved it. For large-scale impact and popularization, I suppose the Black Sea Maritime Archaeological Project, directed by Professor Jonathan Adams of Southampton University. John is the archaeological director of the excavation of Mary Rose. And I had always wanted to work. We worked on the Warwick together also, excavation in Bermuda, although that was directed by Dr. Piotr Boyakovsky and Dr. Katie Custer-Boyakovsky. We both were guests playing with ship documentation, but the Black Sea Maritime Archaeological Project was something that happens once in a lifetime. I'm likely to excavate other shipwrecks. I'm excavating one now with my colleague and friend, Dr. Dragomir Gerbov.
Yeah, you're heading out this weekend, right? You're going to be gone for a few months?
Yes, this week I'm heading there. We likely will excavate another shipwreck before I retire, but the Black Sea map was unique in sheer scale. It did not aim at recording shipwrecks at all. This was something that happened to be in the way. And that, quote unquote, happened to be in the way proved to be 64 shipwrecks from different periods of time, about 2,500, a span of 2,500 years. From a 5th century BC Greek ship that is practically complete. No, not practically, it is complete.
Wow.
All the way through early Roman ships, first through 4th century, 3 Roman wrecks for each of the centuries, down to fairly modern Ottoman period vessels, and even later, a couple of Dutch Hofs.
This is the topic you gave the presentation on a couple years ago at
Yes.
the Joint Clubs? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Ola, what about you? Like, what's been your sort of favorite project, either in competition in Ukraine or kind of, stuff you're working on now? What's your favorite?
Actually, it's pretty much similar as with excavations. While I'm working on the model, this is my favorite. And back in Ukraine, I was building my first model. This is just fantastic. I'm building this model. I never will sell it because people were asking, like, can you sell it? And like, no, I can't sell it. It's so interesting. I'm putting so much time into it. I can't sell it. But in the moment when I finish one model and I want to go farther, I want to build next one. And when I was living in a small apartment in Kyiv, so I just have to empty my desk so I can build next model. So I sold my first model, but it doesn't matter that first model was with lots of mistakes and errors. I know where it is sitting in the cafe, so I can go and visit it when I want. But every time when I would build the next model, it was, this is the best, the most accurate, the perfect best of the best model. I will not sell it. And again, I finish next model. I need to sell it because I want to build another model and so on and so on. So every time, this is my favorite. So right now I'm working, every model on which I'm working, like, I have a huge house here. I don't want to sell them. I want to collect them. And when people are asking, can you sell? Yes.
For the right price.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody's got a price, right? That's funny.
Because I'm converting, like, if I will sell this model, I can buy tools.
Right. Well, let me ask something in a different way. What of the whole model building process, what's your favorite thing that you like working on? What's the least favorite, like, task or element?
Maybe I like rigging the most.
You like rigging the most?
Yeah, maybe because I like it the most. I'm usually making it so fast, like, up and it's done. Like, I was building 3 years this hull, and I just rigged this model in 6 months. It's not fair.
I would imagine a lot of people would take the opposite end of that, but that's interesting. Another thing I kind of want to ask you is, you are probably one of only two women I know in the hobby who's into ship modeling. Is that were there more women in Europe? Is it kind of it's male dominated? Like what are your thoughts there? Is it how do we
In Europe, in Europe, it is the same. In Ukraine, we have me and another woman. I mean, among sportsmen who is in the ship modeling community in real sport. Although we have more women, just they are sitting at home building something, and they're just afraid to show it somewhere. Just don't know why. For me, it was maybe because I was thinking like it's so difficult. Maybe it's only for men to build. Probably women can't. And it was just such barrier, which I don't know why it was just it was stopping me until 2010. It was the most bigger fear if I will start and I can't finish it. So why to start and just to waste time and money? And this is, I think, what mostly maybe women think also.
interesting. We got to
But
do
it
more to
is
get
fun.
women involved in the hobby, I think, and young kids too. So
But actually, since I started YouTube channel, I'm getting more and more comments, quite often in private. Again, maybe women ashamed to announce that they are ship modelers. Actually, that this is hobby also, which they enjoy.
It's a shame that
I
maybe
don't
shy
shy.
is a
Yes,
better
shy
right.
word.
forward. Yes, and they're just texting me in private like, "Wow, I just discovered your channel. I was building also models and was hiding, like thinking like nobody else among women is building them." So and people just women start texting like. Finally, I found somebody, another woman who is building models too, so I'm not alone.
Oh,
So and
excellent.
similar comments. Well, so yes,
Well, good.
we
Yeah,
have,
we got to
we have women.
get more on the show then. That'd be great. So, um, well, listen, what's kind of Kroum? I know you're off soon, but largely speaking, what's next for you guys? Where do you see things going from here with your YouTube channels, with the models, with the archaeology?
Actually, I will come back to that questions when I'm asking Kroum small, tiny yes or no answer question, and he is converting it into a lecture. This is another reason why I started his channel, because I was getting such huge amount of information, and I was like, wow, and only I know this, but I don't need even all that information. Why not to share it with other modelers? Because people are also searching this, digging it, and can't find, and I have this treasure at home. So I have to share this. Yeah, this is my treasure. This is my
Oh,
personal treasure and personal nightmare, ship modeler's nightmare.
That I can believe.
Mike, when you're building something, so you're thinking like you have bits and pieces. And right now, I'm also building a Scratch model. This is Kroum's excavation, and so everything what was found existed on the shipwreck. So I put it together, but the rest of the model, I have to come up with something. It's pure guess how it was done. So I'm thinking, what if I will put this and this and this, and then Kroum comes down? No, it couldn't be like that. So then how it can be? I don't know, but it can't be like that.
It's always easier to say no than to come up with a real answer.
that's what you guys should record. You should like have that live dialogue, like just when she's got a question about it.
Yeah,
You know,
and I have to put couch here so I can record two people, not only one.
very true.
And Kroum, what about you? What's kind of you're obviously you got the dig. I think you and I have talked about maybe probably getting a book or two out of you for SeaWatch. Yes,
Yes, indeed. I believe that is still the plan.
we just
It
got to
is
get you
work in
back in
progress.
this side of the country.
Yes,
Well, you're working on something now that's more of an academic thing, correct?
correct. Yes, I'm working on an academic report on the Ottoman wrecks that I have studied over the years. The largest number of them are coming from the Black Sea Maritime Archaeological Project, together with a group of open boats, dating roughly from the 17th through the 19th century. But my doctoral dissertation was a shipwreck that I excavated in the Black Sea back in 2000. And I have published that in different articles here and there. But this new book is going to incorporate the material, the great variety of Ottoman style ships that sailed in the Black Sea. I mean, we have about 18 wrecks, and all of them are slightly different.
Mm-hmm.
They have common features, but they're slightly different from each other. And some are very interesting, some are barely visible, some bottom trawling has dispersed them through the seven seas of the world. But this is the first opportunity that we have to look at the bigger picture, have a tradition of shipbuilding rather than just an individual vessel. When you have only one example, and this is what journalists like, the unique, the superstar. But in reality, we archaeologists like repetition.
Right.
Because if it is a unique thing, all we can say is this ship is built this way. Grandpa Johnny knocked it together this way. But this does not mean that all vessels within the tradition were built like this.
Mhm.
This is the same story that we had with the Viking ships, when the only well-preserved Viking ships that we had were the Jokstadtrek and Ship Burial and the Osberg. So for many years, everybody assumed that, yeah, these are the Drakars, this is what they look like, that's all that the Vikings built. This changed only after Ole Kromm Pedersen excavated the shipwrecks at Skudlev, when we realized that within the same tradition, with the same techniques, actually there is a great variation of vessels, that they are adapted to specific purposes. To some extent, this is what we are seeing in the Black Sea also. At the moment, Dr. Grubov and I are excavating probably second quarter of the 19th century Ottoman period wreck, although it was owned by Christians. We have positive evidence for this by now. But again, it is a wreck that is related to the other ones. It is probably the latest of the group. And there are the unique adaptations. This vessel, for example, is a timber carrier, specialized timber carrier. So the cargo area has essentially 6 meters of the deck simply are not there. They were never installed. It is an open hold vessel to load the timber more easily. So this is the sort of variation that I am investigating within the book. And I'm hoping beyond hope to become to complete it by, well, the end of the year. Famous last words, do not quote me on this.
And Ola, we need a book out of you too. I think it's high time.
No, what
A book out of you.
out of him. I'm just building a model.
No, we need to get a
You'll
book out of
join
you that
me.
shows you, your build process.
Actually, I am building his excavation. So this and this is a part of his book, this shipwreck, I mean. So he can convert his huge book into smaller, shorter version, just history and facts, and I will continue with the model. So I'm taking notes what I'm doing and how to build the model in with a little different technique, not what we are usually seeing, how to cut frames and put it together. It was also based on plank on frames, but with a different technique, how to do it.
Cool. Well, good. I look forward to seeing that.
Yeah, it is over there.
Yeah, hopefully you will be publishing it.
Yeah. You want to show it?
Well, if Olya wants to show it.
Of course. So
this is my doctoral dissertation right there.
Okay.
Yeah, so just frames right here. Just let me see what I'm showing you. So it will be one side will be planked and another side will be open just to show all these frames.
Right. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So of course, all these pins will be removed. They're just keeping it together in one piece. But this is a future model.
Excellent. And book.
And book.
And book.
Well, listen, guys.
Actually, for this specific part, the text is mostly ready.
Good.
Very
So
good.
I will
It is her part that is behind.
Well, she's very busy.
It's very, very short. I'm going to pay through my nose for this one.
Yeah, probably.
How about the deck?
Huh?
So I just have a pain in the neck right now, just trying to design. Literally, I'm designing the deck. So I'm just asking, like, could it be with the hatch in the middle, or could it must be? Because quite often on these art pictures, you can see that on this type of vessels, they have mast, and not on the deck. It's actually in the hatch, huge cargo, probably hatch, and mast is installed in the hatch. So this is interesting.
It's an interesting question. We'll discuss it, and the answer will be found in the book that you, Mike, will publish.
Excellent. And you'll be the part 2 of the podcast. So. Well, listen, guys, this has been great. I really appreciate your time. Thank you very much. Love chatting with you always. And Kroum, safe travels. We'll see you, I guess, in a few months when you're back.
Yes.
And Ola, we look forward to next videos.
Working on it. Working on it.
Excellent. All right.
Thank you
thanks,
very much
guys.
for your time, Mike.
Thank you. Night.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.